It says we're live, so I think we're live.
All right. Don't believe everything you read.
It says no one's watching.
Brilliant.
We'll just have a chat amongst ourselves.
Oh, I can't be bothered with that.
No.
Oh, look,
We've got two watching.
that's probably us. Is that how it works?
Watching us, watching you.
Anyway, look at him writing his book.
Well, not very much at the moment.
No.
No.
Can everybody hear us? Everybody.
All two of you.
Yeah. Look at that lovely link up there, look, and it's in the box. So this isn't just me and Mark anymore. We're too busy to come up with stuff. We ain't got the time for it. So you're going to have to do it too, Mark. So we had Derek the other day, and he's going to pop in for a bit in a minute, hopefully, from Awaken Your Mind. And we are going to have another little look at the Light newspaper, because I only got to page 4 the other day. And then me and Derek from Awaken Your Mind went off on a bloody brilliant tangent. So never mind. What we'll do is, so can people hear us? I don't know. Maybe you should check on your phone, Mark. I'm just going to presume they can. I'm going to presume people can hear us. So we are going to do a little bit of reading of the paper, and then hopefully brave people will decide to join us in the magical box of delights. What do you think, Mark?
Yep.
Sounds like a good idea to me.
Yep. It's exciting.
So I think we're going to be doing this reading the Light paper, because Mark got it for Christmas as a present from my son. He gets it every month. And like I said last time, we were going to do it every month starting from January, and then we didn't. So I was trying to tell Mark, bloody well get and do it, and then I remembered that I don't work and he does, so maybe I should do it. And then it was going well, and then me and Derek were having a little chat, and we, like I say, only got to page 4.
But that was all good, wasn't it?
Yeah,
it was a very good, interesting chat that you had. So
it was a bloody good chat. So we're going to start again from page 4, and all right, Derek. Yeah. Do you want to come in? Do you want to chat about what we're going to be reading, or do you want to chat about something else? Because I can pop you in first if you want. And then I sit here like this, like a lunatic. Like a lunatic.
Yeah, that's the general gist of it.
So if I just go through some of the headlines. Get on in. Get in here. Get in.
Get in.
Some of the headlines. So like last time, we're going to have to censor ourselves. So because it's YouTube, we've got to go careful what we say. I got my first strike on TikTok today. They're very rude. They're very angry when TikTok gives you a strike. It's a bit terrifying. Because I put up a funny little song about farmers, and so TikTok decided that they weren't having it. Again, I did do #arson.
Yeah, that's probably going to get us kicked off YouTube now.
Oh, for God's sake.
No, Arsene Wenger. He used to be manager of Arsenal. That's what you meant, wasn't it? Yep. Tell us about your little song then, Liz.
Shall I? No, I don't want to. All right. I've actually got the music box behind me.
Just do it. Yeah.
I won't remember the words, but it's quite nuanced.
You could tell us the gist of it. Oh, Derek's coming in now. What does do?
Mac Farmer. I lost it. Shut up, Mark. You're scaring me. Right, let's get Derek in it. It go sensible when we got somebody else.
Hi, Derek.
Stop me.
Hey, how's it going?
Very good. Thanks for joining us, my friend.
Yeah. Great to be here. Yeah.
Is that my fault or your fault? Is that us or you? We can't hear you.
Yeah, well, I just heard him just then.
Oh, did you? Maybe it's me that can't hear him then.
Yeah. I have my thing on my mute. You can hear me, right?
I can hear him in my headphones here.
Oh, I can't hear him, man.
Would you?
You keep talking, Derek, and I'll sort this bloody life out. Maybe I'm not plugged myself in. You know what I'm like.
I mean, to go to Liz's little song, it was just inspired by the fact we've had all these fires in the UK, which seem to have randomly emerged in the middle of March. And then also one at Heathrow Airport, which is something different again. But I don't know. Has there been anything similar? Are you based in France? Is that right? Not to out you. It's a big German area, but I don't know. Has there been anything similar going on in your area of the?
I haven't really. Yeah, there's nothing really going on like you guys are experiencing at all, and neither to the. It just seems like outside of the Five Eyes, just like Anglo-Saxon territories, countries, like America, New Zealand, Australia, and all that. The programming is just up several notches above so many other different countries, and yeah, there's programs and control systems that are in different flavors, tailor-made for different populations. But yeah, out here in France, we're not dealing with the overwhelming woke agendas and that kind of stuff. Yes, the Emmanuel Macron and the parliaments are kind of like a little too overly obsessed with the insanity of their ideas of ecology and all that crap, right? But yeah, and I don't know, like, and I've been trying to do a video about this and like document it on the streets from here to even Paris. It's been on the back burners. Sorry about the noise by a train station. Just like the people complain about immigration, that's a big headline, right? Well, France with the whole war in Algeria and stuff, it wasn't as intense with the 100-Year War of those good old Joan of Arc days and what have. But like I have not noticed a whole huge influx of Arabic and like other African based immigrants per se. Like we've had a steady flow of immigration, I guess, for a while. And like, hey, I'm American living out in France for the past 15 years, if you will. And yeah, I am an immigrant as well. But there's a difference between, and it's like falling into the generalization traps, like there are immigrants from all walks of life and any kind of place on the map that has done right and kind of lived by moral codes and integrated themselves into said country that they immigrated to. But yeah, as we see, in recent times, it's just out of fucking control and all that stuff, yeah.
Yeah,
But not so much in France, I noticed. But you guys, it's so sad to see, and like even in Germany and stuff. Yeah. Anyways, go for it.
No, it's interesting to hear that it's not so bad in France, because just picking up on certain stories over the years, I had an impression that it was a similar sort of situation to what we had. But then I suppose maybe France is a much bigger country in terms of the area, so maybe depending on where you are in France, it's that it's not such a concentration, if you know what I mean. So maybe it doesn't seem so apparent. I don't know, but
Or maybe we're just not getting the right news. We've got to share a headset because we're absolutely because we're shit.
High technology.
No.
Yeah, no worries. But it's like over the years, you see the fear porn on social media. People post something like, "Oh, the immigrant, all this stuff," and yes, to a degree, things do exist. But I've called people like, "Hey, have you ever been to France before? I've lived here. I'm not seeing it. Like, what are you talking about exactly?" It's like, come on, like.
Yeah. They're trying to whip it up, aren't they? There's not saying that there's not stuff going on. Ireland and that is an absolute bloody nightmare.
Yeah, totally, yeah.
But yeah, they do like to whip it up. And like you say, unless you're there, you don't bloody know, do you?
Yeah, but I'm not over there where you guys are, but I've heard like some pretty foul things that have happened. Yeah, of course, the fires, that's an issue, and the police being apathetic to, crimes and stuff, and like punishing people for these trivial crimes, like posting on Facebook now and stuff like that. And, they're letting the immigrants do what they want in a sense. That's just what I hear. I'm not there, so I don't know, type of thing, So it's like people need to not jump the gun so much. And like, I was talking to one of my mentors today of just, oh yeah, like, and the whole social media TikTokification of everything, like people are getting money off of this. They have their channels monetized, unlike us per se, like doing the great work is, it's kind of like that labor of love and all that. Like we're getting paid.
We're just listening to Amazing Polly, who I haven't listened to for a long time because I didn't agree with her. We're not Trumpies, and she was very Trumpy, and so it started winding me up a little bit. But I'm growing up a little bit now. But she was just literally talking about how, I think David Icke calls it the mainstream alternative media. She's got another word for it, but it really is, the new media. People left mainstream media and went onto podcasts, but they're there again, aren't they? They're just the new guard, aren't they? You know, getting all of these all this money from these big accounts, but people are like, oh yeah, but you know, they're still saying a little bit of truth. And Polly was like, yeah, but that's not right. That, you know, they're watering it down with adverts for different things that are pretty terrifying, you know, like that phone that blows people up. But you know, every now and again there'll be an advert. And what was it? One of them was like, oh, I can't get any internet, so I'm just going to turn on my Skylink internet. And Polly was like, why didn't he just turn it on and do the podcast? Why did he have to walk around going, oh, you know, it's just a big advert. And they've worked out that instead of like, you know, the adverts that Alex Jones does and all of that, come and buy my pills, blah blah blah, people will buy it if they see the podcaster doing it. So they've changed how they do it, and it's more subtle, but it's the same shit, just a different way of giving it to shoving it down somebody's throat.
Yeah, and you see some of these content creators, you know, with their in-video advertisements and stuff, because like, whoa, like this video would not happen. I could not make this video if this one company gave me money to sponsor it. It's like, really? Like, no one paid me to do any of the work that I've done over like 500 videos for a dozen years. Like, come on, like, what are you talking about, people? Like,
I mean, we don't get any money, and look how shiny we are. Look how shiny and professional we are. sharing a mic.
If anyone wants to send us a new headset,
don't bother.
We'll willingly endorse your product.
No, we've got a headset. We just don't know how to have two on at the same time.
A headset that works.
Oh no!
I don't think it's a headset. I think it's the headset.
Oh yeah. Yeah,
we don't. Right. Nobody's going to advertise this shit, Derek. To be fair.
Oh dear. But
another thing, have you noticed? You know, like it seems like everyone on the internet and social media now, we're all in. I don't like to say competition in context, and I'm throwing it out there loosely, but it's more in competition to the algorithms, because the algorithms want to turn us out to be whores and like, what have you done for me lately? So keep pumping it out. Otherwise, you're going to become like forgotten, or you know what I mean?
100%. We were even talking about that today, because we used to do one every Saturday just for the fun of it. Because I used to think, well, I'm a lonely old sod that doesn't really socialize and hasn't got many friends, and maybe there's other people like that. So maybe every Saturday we'll do a little quiz and Mark can do a little talk. And so we did that nearly every Saturday for a whole year, just because we enjoyed it. And now
that was really fun. I went to a couple of those. Yeah.
Oh, brilliant. Yeah.
Oh yeah.
And now Mark's writing his book. We don't have time to do that. And we were literally on the car today, and we were going, to be fair, if we don't keep doing something like that, we've already noticed our numbers are flagging. You know, Mark used to get over 100 after his live stream after a couple of days, and now it's still on. It's on 80 or 70 or something. And it's like, if you don't keep doing it, like you say, if you don't keep whoring yourself out, not that we're doing it for that. Not with my knees, Derek. not this guy.
It's taking a very dark turn.
It always does. Poor Derek. I was talking to him about my menopause yesterday. The other day. He's fine. He's one of the family. You're one of the Frouds now. You know, an honorary Froud. Poor sod.
What was it you said?
I don't know.
It's just between you, me, and the bathroom, and now everyone that listens on YouTube. So yeah.
But no, it's true, and you know the pressure's on. If you want to do this and make friends, and that's what it's all about, and you know, join up with people.
Well, I was saying, it's, although we haven't got a big subscription, it's sort of creeping up, and I hope it keeps going up. But even then, just a little bit, just putting some stuff out there to a few people, if they get something out of it. And it's great that we have people come in the chat, and it's great to see people join us as well, like you. And it's just the more and more people that just do little bits of stuff, whatever it may be, just having a little group where they live, or whether it's putting stuff on YouTube or writing stuff places or distributing the light or newspaper. It's just little bits, I think, and that's just increasing the general consciousness around the globe, really. It's just, and that's what we're doing it for.
And that's all you can do. That's all we can do.
Unless the Wellness Corporation wants to sponsor us, In which case,
We tell them to go shove it up their wellness
obviously
arse.
we would. Yes,
Yeah.
No, we wouldn't.
we would. Yeah, yeah, we would.
We
Yeah.
would not.
We wouldn't tell them.
Yep. I'm sure it wouldn't go down that like that anyways, but yeah, it's like the labor, the love, and just coming to some profound truths and epiphanies and things that we go through in this path work, right? You just come to a point where you're energetically, mentally, emotionally, spiritually compelled and motivated to do something about it. We can't just sit on the sidelines and kind of just commentate on certain things and expect things to get better. And actually doing this work, I've noticed, like we can't expect a whole lot. Like, we can't go in there, putting out videos expecting, oodles of views and what have you. It's just, forget about it. In the days of, well, since the dawning of the Rona, as I like to say, the shadow banning is just, off the charts and that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But it's quite interesting because Mark used to do conferences with his academic work. He used to go here, there, and everywhere. And it's true what Mark says. If we get 100 people view it, he would have killed for 100 people in an auditorium for one of his speeches for his conference.
Yeah.
Isn't it?
It's still, when you think about it like that, it's huge. To 100 people to take time out of their day to have a listen to what I'm saying. And it's great that we have people around the world. We've got Green Tea in the chat today from the US and Murray in New Zealand.
We got Margaret. Yeah, Mark doxes people all day long.
Only in their general country. I'm not sort of putting their address out on screen.
Hi,
That's going to come up
Hi,
later.
Mab. Hi, Green Tea.
But no, it's just, yeah, it's awe-inspiring, really. I mean, that I just feel really honoured that people are listening to our stuff and taking time out. It's just
yeah, and when you think about it, 100 people, like the billions of things that they can listen to, it's just wow. Thank you. We got 7. It says 7 up there. Thank you, 7 people. A,
Yeah,
thank
sure.
you. B, are you mental? But when you think about it, all the stuff that they've got to do and they can do, to want to share it with us, that's just lush, isn't it? That's just so nice.
Yeah, and sometimes I'm in a couple of groups where folks are getting their bearings and just at the more learning stage and not putting out videos, although they have that in their foresight. And I have to keep myself in check as well, because like the numbers can seem dismal compared to past videos and whatever, and it's like we got to get the comparisons out of here. And kind of just to kind of like analogy, I thought it was kind of funny is sometimes we do these live streams, we see who's in the chat. It's like kind of like the familiar faces and stuff, and we're trying to get the message out to those that need to hear it the most and a lot of stuff. And thinking about like a wannabe up and coming rock band that's doing open mics or shows and this and that, but they're really low on the pecking order, so they're just opening up for the bigger names and that kind of stuff. And so there's barely any people coming in, like there's not a whole big audience except for like some of their friends and family kind of stuff, and then they do their set and then they're done and that kind of stuff. And then like the bigger names like the David Ikes and the Tomas Sheridans and that kind of stuff, they're more talented and experienced for sure, and much respect to all those folks for sure. But it's just something to keep in mind, to be, put things into perspective in a way and kind of just have a laugh at it, be like, oh yeah, okay, like,
exactly. And just be really grateful, like hi Ben, oh hi
Nina, hello.
We got some great people in the chat, and I don't know if you heard us, Nina and Ben. We were just saying we're just so grateful for the 9 or 10 people that are just around, because look at all the stuff that you could be doing, like on the internet, or anything. So it's about not being disheartened. And me and Mark used to do this thing back in the day, and we started doing it again today. So, and I can
take the mic.
Thank you. So bloody unprofessional. It's hilarious.
Yes.
So back in the day, I mean, some people know we used to do this because we just used to bang on about it. We used to print out, this was before the COVID, we used to print out I used to make it quite arty. I used to actually go there little websites and little nuggets and one-liners about truth, and go and have a look at Truth Stream Media, and I'd make a beautiful little card and I'd make it art. I'd actually sew a heart and I'd attach it to it, and then we'd leave it around Chippenham. Like, we'd leave it on a bench and walk away, or we'd post it through a letterbox, God knows whose house, or we'd leave it in a loo, or little tiny things we'd post out, and we'd slip them. Say you were, I don't know, in Bath and you bought a towel from Primark. There might be something in there about 5G, because we would have slipped it in there, in a pair of jeans. And my printer broke and we didn't do it for years. But we literally did it again today. We printed some stuff out about the farmers and the fires. And we started, how exciting. And we're like, oh my God, you just don't know. One person picks up that thing. You just don't know if that has lit a fire for them and set them on their journey.
Unfortunate use of words.
Lit a fire.
But anyway, yeah.
But the thing is, and I was saying to Mark, even if nobody does, it's making me excited and motivated. And then we turn a corner and we saw this sticker, and it was without farmers there's no food, and we were like, yes. And it's just like, we don't know who put that sticker up, but thank you, because that really validated what we were doing. And it just tiny little things like that. If you've got a printer, you can do it, and it just made it quite fun, actually, didn't it?
Yeah. A little subversiveness.
Yeah, little anarchists.
Hey, real quick, I gotta love and leave you guys for the moment.
Thanks for coming in, Derek.
Yeah, if this conversation finishes up soon, I'll pop back in if you don't mind.
Yeah, well, come and see us.
Oh yeah, pop in. Yeah, no, anytime. We love having you in. You're the new honorary Froud.
Oh, no way.
Yeah.
Cheers. Much love,
Thanks,
y'all. And, it's in preparation for a musical festival coming in September, possibly. We're trying to gather artists that are playing music and sending those wonderful messages of, some hermetically sealed ideas and things aligned to natural law and what have you. So,
wow.
There's going to be a physical music festival.
Yeah.
Wow.
Wow.
Yeah, keep us informed, Derek. That sounds great.
Yeah.
We have to come over to France.
He loves a bit of music.
Oh, to be online, but yeah.
I like the Bee Gees.
You're welcome over here anyways, yeah.
Staying alive.
C'est la vie, yeah.
It's an important thing.
A bientôt.
All right, Derek. Thanks for popping in.
Thank you so much as well.
Lots of love.
Ciao, Marcus.
See you soon.
Yes.
Derek's our new Froud. He's a new member of the family, isn't he?
Yeah.
Right. Okay. Can you see that? Keep pasting it. You are more than welcome to pop in. Ben, I know you've got a live stream at 9. Don't forget, everybody, to go and see Ben's live stream at 9. But anybody who wants to pop in, just click on that and just pop in and have a chat with us, because that's what it's all about. We're so unprofessional. We've got one headphone between the two of us. And Nina, I definitely did not nick this from work before I left. Anyway, so
Nina said it's a good break from talking with normies.
Oh Christ, I don't even do that anymore, mate. I just sit there like this with my fingers in my ears. I can't do it. I'm quite the hermit these days. So if you want to come in, click on that and just have a little chat with us. What we're going to do is no, Nina, you didn't recognize it. No, absolutely. And you see this like thing here with my computer on, that's got nothing to do.
She probably can't see that.
She can't see it. No. Trust me, it's got nothing to do with work. All right. Right, so the light. Do you want to hold my situation? Right. Pop in. Come on, people. Get your asses in here. Net zero. So we're going to start from page 5, because I got up to page 4 the other day, like I was saying, and never got any further because me and Derek were having a right old chat, and it was great. So this is Net Zero, a Pointless Crusade. And please pop in and have a chat with us if you want to. Okay, shut up. Bad data and faulty models leading us up the garden path again. Right, so this is by Dr. Mark. Ooh, it's like an exciting game of Russian roulette. Who's coming in? Who's coming in? Add him to... Oh, Ben, that's Ben.
Yeah.
Don't know nothing. There he is.
There's
our
hello.
Ben. Hey, am I on the air?
You are. No, sod the light. Let's have a chat with Ben.
Let me just hit pause on that. Yeah, how you doing, guys?
Yeah, we want to chat with you.
Great,
We're only going to read this if we don't have somebody else to chat to, I
Oh,
think.
thanks. I can't stay for long. Unfortunately, I'm preparing for my live stream, and it's suddenly twice as complicated as I thought I was going to be because I've got 2 subjects now instead of 1. I've got
Tell
the
everybody what
JFK
it's about so
files.
that they can just like run. We got on really early today, Ben, so that we wouldn't mess up your live stream like we did the other day.
Oh, I don't. That's all right, I don't mind. I mean, what happened the other day was simply the. I've got to change the background. It was simply the gas spanner. It's my usual radio show, you know. It's just my usual
We
radio
just
show.
we were all spontaneous and didn't have a clue what was going on, and we just pressed play.
But it's great to see you guys again. It really, really is.
Yeah,
I'll just
thank you.
Here we go. Is that now song? I'm sorry, I'm using the wrong. I'm just trying to adjust the background picture. It doesn't really matter particularly, but
We
but
don't care
yeah,
what's in the background.
I hope to see you guys again soon. I really do because it was great fun.
Well, we want to see you before the symposium. We're thinking about coming up to Oxford, maybe combine it with you and Nick Hayes. We want to see Nick.
Oh, cool! Yeah, cool. Yeah, I'd see Nick. Yeah, Nick. Nick is kind of like well, we could visit him at his place. I mean, he's got loads of interesting stuff there. I mean,
yeah, we've
he's
been
still
there
doing his experiments and stuff. Yeah, he's still doing his experiments, things like that. You know.
So we're trying to hook that up. So tell everybody what your live stream's going to be about, Ben. Do some advertising.
It was going to be about the JFK files, but now it's about the JFK files and these supposed things they found under the pyramids, which is these structures they supposedly found. Well, it's not. It's still a bit. I still don't know exactly what's going on here because there's been like this scan of the pyramids that they've done using this what's it, micro movement detection thing with radar, and they've detected they say they've detected structures under the pyramids, but it's all a little bit up in the air at the moment. I'm not sure exactly what's going on. But,
yeah, no, it's fascinating. I mean, it's really really exciting stuff. I mean, we'll be interested to see what more comes out. I mean, it certainly looks the diagrams they've sort of promoted make it look even more that sort of like a big power station, which a lot of people have thought that
it does look like a power station.
Well, these are artist impressions. I mean, the scan results just show kind of blobs of different color.
Right.
But there's a distinct structure there, although some people are saying, well, it's not an accurate method anyway, so it doesn't really matter. Although what I suspect has happened, and I mean, several people said that a lot of the debunkers are showing past images that were made before the detector was calibrated. So it's quite likely these new images are going to be more accurate than the ones they've published before. In which case, then there's certainly something there.
Yeah, I mean, I was reading something on Andrew Collins' Facebook. People be familiar if they've watched my talks before. That I went on the Megalithomania tour with Andrew and Hugh Newman to Turkey, but he's also Andrew's done a lot of stuff in Egypt, and he and another researcher some years ago now discovered this cave system that under the Giza Plateau through this Tomb of the Birds, I think they
called it,
and that to do it sort of a bit subversively because they weren't allowed in officially. But he's written a lot, that there's been these ancient texts and the local people there thinking that there are all these sort of extra tombs underneath the pyramids. So it does seem to be tallying.
Makes sense.
Whether it's quite, like you say, exactly what some people have been drawing these imaging, but it definitely suggests that there is much more underneath, which is going along with what some people have been saying for a while. So
I'm surprised how much water there is down there because it is a desert area, but beneath the desert, it's actually there's huge aquifers down there, giant lakes, underground lakes. And
what do we know about aquifers, Ben? We've got them all around this area in Wiltshire, and
that's
crop circles.
Well, exactly, there's something about groundwater that's. I mean, Nick Hayes talks about this because he studied Wilhelm Reich. There's there's something special about groundwater.
Absolutely,
there's loads under the pyramids of Egypt. So even though it's very dry on the surface, I mean, we know it's not just near the Niles. It's all over the Sahara Desert. There's a lot of groundwater. So it's dry on the surface, but there's a lot of water under the surface. So where does that come from? How does it get there? How come it doesn't just drain away? Is it being replenished somewhere?
Some people think that there's seas as well under the water, and that water can actually kind of, like we were talking about yesterday in the light, there was a little thing on how oil makes itself, and fossil fuels is a load of shit. Oil actually can replenish itself. Some people think that that's exactly the same with water, don't they?
Well, yeah, it does get created underground, absolutely.
Well, yeah, I mean, Manchester Samantha Lawton was talking about how there's like the amount of rain that falls from the clouds can't be explained completely by condensation. So there's
No.
more water there's more water in rainfall than there should be if it's just vapor condensing.
Yeah,
So
yeah,
where's that
yeah.
water coming from? And sometimes you get other things falling. You know, there's these weird things where fish and frogs fall. Where are they coming from?
I know.
And-
What is that?
Well,
That's something we'll have to talk about
yeah.
one day.
The official story is that they get sucked up by tornadoes, but then how come it's always just like one species of fish or frog? And they're always alive. They're alive and well. Surely they'd be killed by being sucked up into the upper atmosphere.
I'm sorry, if it was sucked up by a tornado, you'd get a fish, a frog, a bloody lampshade. You know what I mean? A cigarette butt. You would just get, you know what I mean? You'd get bloody half an old granny or something. I don't know. You would just get 50,000 of the exact same frogs. You know,
I know,
what I mean?
and,
It's like, what the hell?
There's
is
that weird thing
that?
where hazelnuts fell from the sky. It was in Arthur C. Clarke's Mysterious World, and thing is though, it was the wrong season. This was they weren't. This was
That's
not
just
when they
mental.
ripened. So they hadn't even grown yet. I mean, where do they come from?
It's like a
all full of
port.
mysteries, yeah.
It's
So
like
yeah, exactly, for ports. So what's under there? I mean, Andrew, like he's a brave guy because like this cave is like treacherous. You've got to climb down a vertical shaft about 100 feet, and down there there's bats everywhere, and their droppings actually are quite dangerous because they have parasites in them that can get into your brain and make you go nuts. I mean, you've heard the phrase "bat excrement crazy," haven't you?
Yeah.
That's where it comes from. Yeah.
See, on Ben's channel, he says bat excrement crazy.
Sorry, batshit.
On our
Shit
channel,
crazy.
he say batshit crazy.
Yeah, so it's actually quite treacherous. But he went down there with this whole team, and it's like amazing. It's an amazing thing. So why shouldn't there be more things underneath this pyramid? And it's not the Great Pyramid; it's the Khafre Pyramid, which is the middle one, which is actually people overlook it, but it's actually almost as big as the Great Pyramid. It's very distinctive because it still has a bit of the limestone cladding on it, whereas on the Menkaure and Khufu pyramids, it's just all worn away. So it's more authentically preserved. I mean, it's not perfect. Obviously, a lot of it's missing, but it's more authentically preserved than the other two.
I wish they do that imaging thing on the tepes where you went on Göbekli
Yes.
Tepe around the tepe.
Well, they have to an extent. Well, I mean, that's shown that they've only actually excavated maybe about 5% of what's there.
Oh, right.
And this is
So
just
they've got pictures like that of it, have they?
well, I mean, similar. I mean, obviously, what they seem to have found, these particular ones are like literally a whole other level because it's just seemed. I think the size and the depth of apparently what they're finding beneath there is a lot. But yeah, there's huge amounts more that haven't been uncovered.
And now they're covering it up.
Well, or they're excavating it, or so it's intriguing in terms of things that are just coming out now about ancient sites, and then things that are being maybe withheld, or they're not going into, and they're not going to excavate more. And it's just interesting. On the one hand, these things are all ancient, but the way they're being dealt with in the modern world is maybe things you can say about. It's saying something about a modern society. I mean, Bright Insight has done something about how Göbekli Tepe is being run by this Turkish company that's owned by a Turkish billionaire who's part of the World Economic Forum, and so there's all these sort of things. Is there some agenda to why they're not wanting to uncover this ancient stuff? I don't know.
Well, this is it. I mean, I've just been watching Flint Dibble on his video about the underground structures under the pyramids, and of course he's a skeptic, massive skeptic. He's the one who debated Graham Hancock on Joe Rogan and claims he won. Although I think Graham wipes the floor, frankly. But he was drinking beer and he was a bit drunk, I think, and he was saying, "And no one's covering anything up. There's no goddamn fucking cover-ups, assholes!" And he was like really getting angry.
It sounds like me.
And he's a sort of like a negative version of Liz. And there's no one's
I am
covering
the
anything up.
negative version of Liz. Don't get any better.
But I mean, of course, there are cover-ups. I mean, Graham Hancock is right. I mean, there are, and he describes it so clearly. I mean, but I mean, so I saw Flint Dibble at this event in Manchester last year, and he's like I mean, it's worth watching him just to see it, just so you can like see people discrediting him, because I believe he has been discredited. He claims he hasn't. He claims he's won. He always claims he wins all the debates he loses. So.
As an aside, Ben,
Hmm.
what do you think about all right, to quote a meme off Facebook, because that's what I seem to do these days. Oh, I'm so glad, I'm so relieved that they saved the astronauts from the swimming pool.
Oh,
What's your
I
opinion?
personally think they really were in space. Myself, I think they were in space. I know a lot of people can disagree with me. Maybe you do as well, but I think they were in space. And now
Well, I don't know. I just think that I listen. I don't bloody know because I wasn't there, But the footage did look like AI, and then we saw something which somebody had put it into is this AI generator, and it said 65% yes, that footage of the sea, and that was AI. I don't bloody know, Ben. I have no clue, but I thought it looked AI. But what the fuck do I know? I don't know how good their cameras are. I don't.
Well, they
bloody
had
know.
a boat. They had this boat, and they had that like boats. When the capsule landed, these boats came up and they picked up the parachutes. And I mean, I can't prove that wasn't real. There were dolphins apparently appearing because they were curious about what was going on. But I mean, I can't prove it. I mean,
No.
because people kept saying that people said things I thought were like could be discredited. For example, Sunny, they say, oh, she's got a suntan. Well, she's Indian, by extraction, and so she's
Oh,
brown
rude.
anyway. And her hair was black, and she said, well, her hair's a bit grey because she's quite old. I mean, I think she's 64 or something like that. Well, maybe she put a bit of the old L'Oreal before coming out down because she knew she'd be on TV. She just darkened her hair a bit. I mean, lots of women her age do that.
Well, I would never go near hair dye in my life.
Well, exactly. Well, the blonde hair dye is actually quite deadly. It's
Rude. All right.
peroxide.
Hell.
Yeah. No, not that you need it, Liz. Not that you need it.
Bloody do.
Well, you said you don't need it, Ben.
Oh, I can manage without it. Yeah, I'll manage. I'll cope.
Look at it.
But I mean, it's
So
what's
Green
interesting is
says, do they have hair dye in space? She had grey streaks and came back with brown, or are those selective photos? So I saw that, Green, but then I saw somebody saying that they've actually muddled it up. So she went up with brown and came back with grey, as if it had grown out. So
it may be a bit stressful up there. I mean, because if you think about it, like they
stressful
went up
down here. Never mind.
they went up for 8 days and ended up staying 9 months. My God. But
so I don't know.
watching
Ben.
the sun,
Like
AD,
I say,
the
I'm
castaways
very,
lost in space.
But these people, some people are like, yes, it definitely happened. No, it definitely didn't happen. How can we be so sure?
Well, I think that's like the case with so many things. It's just I think they deliberately are messing up so
Yeah.
people don't know what to believe
Yeah,
anymore.
100%.
There's always one set of stories and then another set of
They
stories.
muddle it all up, don't they?
And even things like that video, is it AI generated? I mean, it wouldn't surprise me. There was a real thing, but then the footage they show, they fiddle with it on AI. So then that sets off all the rumors, and
Yeah. That's so true.
Yeah, do you think it could have been enhanced footage? You see? But if they're going to enhance it, like you said, Mark, if they're going to enhance it, then it's going to any kind of fiddling like that, even for cosmetic purposes, to make it look a bit better, are people going to start doubting? And why shouldn't they? Why shouldn't they?
Yeah.
Because let's face it, these authorities have lied to us so many times.
Yeah.
We really got to be on our guard. I mean, and at the end of the day, I mean, we both know that everyone's saying, well, Elon could have gone up there and picked them up any time, and Joe Biden wouldn't let him because well, Joe Biden doesn't like Elon, so he wouldn't let him go up and pick them up. It was only when Trump got in that Elon was allowed to go up and pick up the astronauts. I don't think that's actually true, quite say, because there was always like a spring 2025 schedule for picking them up. But let's face it, I mean, they have spacecraft that could have gone up there anytime and pick them up, which was run by anti-gravity and free energy. They don't need rockets. We're using rockets in NASA and the Space Force. Rocket is like using log rafts in the modern world today.
They took them up Christmas presents and food. Why didn't they just come back in the bloody box or something?
Well, I don't know why. I mean, surely, at some
I'll
point,
just come back with
it's gonna be
you.
admitted, you know? Yeah, I mean, if this is admitted, then of course this wouldn't be a problem. Why are we using these rockets, these great big giant fireworks, which sometimes blow up when they launch? I mean, how many astronauts have been killed simply in accidents relating to this? I mean, there's always there's 2 space shuttles have been destroyed so far, whereas anti-gravity is much safer. It's far more reliable and safer than rockets.
If they ever revealed it, you know,
They'd have to just tell us they've got it, but then what kind of can of worms will that open? And that's why they won't tell us. And they wouldn't. I don't think they'd care if Butch and Sonny got killed.
How
They'd rather
close
they
are
all
we to
died. They'd rather
disclosure,
all of
Ben?
them died up there than they tell the world what they really.
You know, you
have.
said you haven't got long. How close are we to disclosure, Ben?
this is what Liz always used to do with Ben's live stream.
Yeah.
He was
I
like, "I've
didn't
got
want-
to go now,"
And I didn't want him to. So I
I'm
used
sure
to say, Ben,
someone will bring that up.
what's your opinion on disclosure?
Oh, I'm sure someone will bring that up on my own live stream later, and it'll go on for another half hour.
It'd be me.
Well, yeah, it'll be Liz probably. Yeah. Well, I mean, I personally, there was a poll on Facebook saying when do you think it's going to happen, and about there was the second most popular image was never. The most popular one, I thought 33% voted never. The second one was like 2 to 3 years. I actually I would estimate maybe a year, maybe 2 years. I mean,
And is that catastrophic disclosure or disclosure?
That would be like a controlled disclosure. But to be honest, catastrophic disclosure could happen at any time, anywhere, anyhow. I mean, it literally could happen at any moment. I mean, this is my big problem with my own book because of Roswell Rising. I mean, this is an obstacle I could not overcome in the narrative. It's the original moment that separates their timeline of the story from the timeline of our world. Because as you know, if you read it, it's an alternative history book. Available at all good bookshops now, price £10.
I've read it.
Yeah,
I've got one down there as well. I could literally do that, but my house is such a mess; everything would fall on the floor.
fair enough.
I think most of this house is being held up by that book, to be honest.
Oh, well, fair enough. You know, I've got a big pile myself, but you know, I couldn't. I mean, this is the biggest criticism, my own criticism of the book, is that I couldn't come up with some explanation of why it went differently. That initial event that separated the 2 timelines went differently. I couldn't come up with an explanation for that. So in a sense, I think disclosure is maybe incomprehensible at the moment. It may be something that it can't actually be defined properly. From this side of that barrier. I mean, it's literally something we just have to wait for, and we just know it's going to happen somehow. We don't know how. Maybe we can speculate on how it might happen, or indeed when. And I've been talking about this, but how long have I been talking about this? 15 years, 16 years? I've been saying.
It feels like it, Ben.
As long as
I'm
I've been
hello to Neil.
TV.
Neil's in the chat. Hi,
Hey,
Neil.
Neil. Hello, Neil. How
Neil,
are you, Neil?
I'm just posting this. I'm posting the link so you can come in and have a chat if you want.
Oh, cool. Yeah. I'm actually doing a show with Neil on Monday. Neil and I are doing a show on Monday together. So
Neil, we're actually talking about disclosure, and we were just talking about the astronauts and what we thought about it. Have you got any thoughts, Neil? Do you want to pop in or not? You don't have to. No pressure. For anybody that doesn't know, Neil and Ben are the Apollo detectives. They are 2. I don't know how many of you are there.
There's about a dozen of us who sort of come in.
There's hundreds of them.
Usually, it depends how many. And we do a show every regularly where there's like
the Apollo detectives. So they know about this stuff inside out.
Yeah, we do on Monday. We're doing another show. I'll be recording one. I don't know
what the Apollo detective.
Yeah,
you were given a shout out on Sheep Farm a while ago. Did you know that?
No, I didn't know. No, I like Sheep Farm. They're
cool.
Yeah,
no, Apollo detectives. Yeah.
Oh,
no,
I see. Cool.
What's his name? It's Dom and Chris. Chris was going, oh, I like there's this group of blokes, and they're called the Apollo detective. He doesn't talk in this accent.
He's Yorkshire
He's
accent,
from Yorkshire.
but not Wiltshire, but anyway.
Oh, bless him.
Hey up! There's this group of lads, and they're great, and they talk about the moon landings. How's that? That was offensive.
Tungsten carbide drills.
So anyway, yeah, that was a little shout out, which is absolutely brilliant.
That's nice, yeah, that's cool. Now it's a good community we've got here, and
so you think, Ben, that the space station is a real thing, but you just don't think that the Apollos in the past were a thing?
Yeah, the space station exists. I mean, it's been photographed by amateur astronomers. I mean, there's people who watch it pass over with and they get photos of it with their telescopes and things like that. It exists, but I mean, obviously, this just because this mission may be a real one doesn't mean that everything NASA tells us is correct, because of course they don't. I mean, there's a public space program and then there's a secret space program. Andrew Johnson is kind of like is the guy who talks a lot about the secret space program, and he's interviewed people like Ed Fouché and others who describe what they're developing in the secret government, the breakaway civilization, the deep state is actually developing in their secret laboratories, and it would render all the technology, the public space program, as obsolete as
Yeah, exactly.
clubs and pikes. It's crazy that we're living in this world. It's kind of like, it's almost like a kind of like historical theme park we're living in.
Yeah.
It's like being in that film, The Village, by that M. Night Shyamalan film, The Village.
I think there's a bit of a link there almost to what we've been talking about with the Egyptian thing, because I think a lot of this, when it's suppression of what happened in the ancient past, is because there was so much technology, advanced technology, thousands of years ago, which is being hidden as well. So it's a case of, again, if it was acknowledged that people had all this technology, more advanced technology, thousands of years ago, again, it would disrupt the what we have now and the perceptions of that. So I think what they're hiding now in terms of what technology they've got, and they're also hiding the technology that humanity had thousands of years ago. Things have been hidden for so long. It's a continuum of deception, really.
The cover up of the past is actually a part of the cover up of the present. I mean, he who controls history controls the present, as George Orwell said. I mean, exactly. And there's so many of these mysteries associated with these monuments of the past that Graham Hancock talks about, and people like Flint Dibble try to downplay them. But if I suppose that they're scared that that some of these ancient discoveries might actually give clues about the world we live in now. I think that's what they're scared of.
Yeah. So unfortunately, Neil can't pop in directly, but he says I gave edited a video concerning Apollo 14 astronaut Edgar Mitchell. He coughs nervously in interviews on his alleged moonwalk, but does not cough much when talking UFOs. So,
yeah, Neil's asked me, can I discuss the points I placed? Neil, I'm sorry, I haven't watched it yet. Terribly sorry. I've got the video. I haven't had a chance to watch it, but I'll watch it before Monday. And of course, Neil's doing a presentation on this in on when we record this show, so I will watch it before then, mate. All right. But I'm not.
Well, that'll be interesting. We'll look forward to watching that, mate.
Thanks a lot. I'm actually writing an article as well for what's it called? I think it's the Seriously Strange magazine. They've asked me to do an article for them by the end of the weekend, so I'm going to do that. I sometimes think to myself, I shouldn't keep volunteering for these things because I don't have time to do anything else.
You're busy.
You bloody love it.
I do. Yes, I do. I do.
Well, we were talking to Derek about people doing having channels and putting videos and podcasts and things up and doing it out of love, really, and just to get try and get the truth out there. And you're a shining example of that. You've been doing this for many years, my friend, and you've built up a big following. But you have to keep working at it, and you put content out on an almost daily basis, one way or another, don't you?
Oh yeah, I really. This is all I do, really, isn't it? I mean, I don't support a football team or anything like that. I don't.
Oh, that's my downfall.
Things like I like watching football, but I don't support a team or anything. And I don't do any of the normal stuff that most people do. So this is kind of my whole life, really. When either I'm over at work or I'm doing this.
Yeah.
Even when I'm at work, I'm lucky. I'm lucky enough to have one of those jobs where you can actually put earphones in and sort of like listen to stuff while you're working. And so I what do I listen to? Music? No, I listen to woo-woo radio shows.
Yeah.
Now I know how you feel, Ben. Now I don't work full time and I'm just doing my art. I've always got something on in the background.
It's great you had your stall and everything. It's really brilliant. I love your
picture. No. Oh, I'm living the dream in a way because it's not great that I had to give up my job because I did like my job. I quite I did like that, but it's a very. I don't know if Nina's still in the chat. She'll know it's a very, very stressful job. It's a very stressful job that I used to do. And obviously with this back thing, I just couldn't do it anymore. So it was like, thank Christ I've got this thing here, just like paying for my acrylic paint and my canvas boards. Otherwise, and I'm living the life of Riley, really. So yeah, getting stuff out there on Etsy, getting stuff out there on my bloody Etsy.
That's what husbands are for. That's what husbands are for, Liz. I mean, or partners. I mean,
Well, I didn't
When
know
I-
that
when
for
I-
the first 10 years, Ben. I've only just found that out.
God, when I had a partner, I used to buy her loads of things. I used to pay for stuff for her all the time. Yeah, that's the man's.
Well,
That's
I
the
thought I
man's
was
life.
an independent black woman of means, Ben, but apparently not.
You're just a non-independent acrylic back paint woman.
Hey, I've
Yeah, I'm
got.
not
Well,
independent.
let me just.
I'm a codependent menopausal mess.
Oh dear. Well, I'll tell you, I've got your. Let me just. I've got a gallery. See, look, where is it? There it is. There's
Oh, yeah,
his
look,
gallery.
look at that. Liz's gallery.
You
Bloody
can
hell,
just see it
Ben.
in the
Me and you
distance.
both.
Yeah.
Bloody hell, everywhere I go, I just give. The thing is with me, I'm such an idiot. I just gave most of my stuff away because I'm not really an entrepreneur. I don't really get it. But now I don't work. I've got to get it. So bloody hell, Pete,
Sometimes it's
bless
necessity.
him.
It's only when you're put into a position where you have to that you do it.
Yeah,
I mean,
and then
this
you have
is,
to
I
do
suppose,
research.
one of the things with me because I'm not a natural entrepreneur either. Very often, artistic type people are not. You see, it's like if you are people who are natural entrepreneurs are very often not like very very sort of right brained. They tend to be very left brained, and they often don't have an artistic talent or desire. So that's why the best, most successful businesses are those that combine the two. So you get like one guy who's very right brained, one guy's very left brained. You get them together, and they often have a success story. I'm the same. I'm a very artistic person, but I'm not a natural entrepreneur. This is why when it came to self publishing my books and stuff, like with your artwork, it was kind of like it was a bit touch and go. I was doing best I could, I thought, but I suppose because it was always sort of like there was never that kind of spur of necessity to really drive me forward.
Just feel a bit rude. Just feel a bit rude asking for money. Ridiculous, isn't it? And I'll spend a whole day doing a painting. Oh, you either have it for free or I just put it up there for a tenner. Bloody Etsy, like I was saying, Pete bought something for 34 quid off Etsy. I got 17 quid. So now I'm starting to put things on thecraftinghirelist.com. I've actually started a shop there. I still got to give somebody Square or whatever it's called a bit of money, but it's not going to be as much. But yeah, that's why getting the stalls are proving to be better, because then I don't have to pay postage and packaging. I don't have to then pay Etsy, but you do have to pay for the stall. But Ben, I'm going to start going to conferences. I want to start doing conferences. We did the occult conference. So if there's any conferences that do stalls, we're going to be doing we're doing the symposium stall, and we're doing
Neil McDonald's
Mysterious Earth.
Oh, that's happening
live
again.
in St. Anne's.
Oh, when's that? Because you did tell someone did tell me.
October the 15th, maybe. I'm not sure the exact
that was
date.
so good last year. I've got to go this year. I've got to go.
It's not in the YMCA this year, Ben. It's in a hotel.
Oh, never mind. I still go. I
definitely go. Because I'm going to have a stall, Ben.
And Steve Merrer's talking at it. I think he's doing two presentations over the weekend.
Excellent! It was so good last year. It was really. I had a great time last year. It was great.
So Ben, if there's any conferences you can think of that I can apply for a stall, let me know.
Well, there's one in 2 weeks. The Weird Weekend North, which I'm going to. There's also like let me think. There's Miles is doing one at some point.
I was wondering if Miles, because he's only
now it's not confirmed yet. I won't say anything yet because it's not confirmed, but he has plans for one in the summer. He has plans for his basis conference in the summer.
Just drop me a line, Ben, and then I can, because you're more in the know about this sort of thing than me. I don't say, oh, Nina, I miss you too. I miss you too. Bless her. She says she's glad I left free to do my art, but she misses me. Oh,
is that a colleague of yours? Oh, but it's there's loads. I mean, I'll let you know any that are coming. I think Lapis have got a conference this year. That's the Lancashire Anomalous Phenomenon.
Is that up in the YMCA as well again?
It probably will be at the YMCA. Yeah.
Oh, nice.
I mean, I'd love to go to that. I mean, because I'm going to contact in the desert. I don't know how much money I'm going to have when I get back.
Oh yes. So when's that? When you're going to that, Ben?
That's at the end of May, and I'm going to spend. I'm going to actually spend about 2 weeks over there because I want to do some personal stuff as well to do with Gareth Davis. I'm going to
bless.
see some. I'll tell you more about it afterwards. But I've got some personal issues to deal with while I'm over there.
Yeah.
Yeah,
There's
I'm
also
having.
another conference over in America I thought you might be going to. It's the because Miles Johnson's speaking at it. Is it the Disclosure Conference or something?
It's the Tampa Bay conference. Yeah, that's in Florida. That's in October, I think. I'm not sure what
You
date.
going to that, Ben?
I don't think so. No, I mean, unless they ask me to speak, because I can't. After coming back from Contact in the Desert, I'll have to start saving again because I really do want to go to the Glastonbury Symposium.
Yeah, we
'cause
want
that
you to
was really
go there
good.
as well.
I'll
Because
have
we got
to
Nick,
beg,
we got
borrow, or
you.
steal.
Oh, Pete's in the chat. Sorry, Pete. You say your mum's in A&E, so you can't stop. I
Oh,
hope
sorry to hear
she's
that,
okay,
mate.
Pete.
Yeah, wish you all the
Get well
best,
soon.
mate.
Oh, she gets well soon. Yeah.
Yeah, give us a little update.
So I'm kind of like I'll go to as many as I can, But I mean, I think unless someone like asks me to speak, which would be great. I'm speak. By the way, I'm speaking at the Dorset Earth Mysteries group in August? I think in August.
Is that down with Neil? Is that down
Yeah,
by?
that's Neil. Neil goes to that one.
Is that in Western Weymouth?
It's near there. Yeah.
Oh, okay. When's that?
There's a Weymouth spiritual group. It's in August sometime. There's also the Weymouth spiritual group. I'd be happy to, if they want me to do another talk, I'll do another talk for them because I had a great time last year. I did a great talk for them last year. It was brilliant.
And you're going to start doing talks for us on our channel, Ben.
Yes, I'd love to. Yes, I'd love to.
Do you remember what happened last time? We just got you on here. You did a talk, and then we got banned, didn't we? We got our channel.
It wasn't
banned.
Ben's fault.
No, it wasn't Ben's
Oh,
fault.
man.
Ben
That was awful.
I put Bill Gates up in his own words, and the internet's like, that's fake news. I'm like, but I didn't even open my bloody big mouth.
But
I got
YouTube's
banned.
terrible
I nearly
like
got banned from TikTok today as well because of my. I thought it was because of my singing. Because I've got a song out now, Ben. It's Old MacFarmer went to town, and and now his farm's burnt down. And anyway,
It sounds better when she sings it.
Sounds much.
I'm going to see that, yeah. But we had a great time. I mean, the video's still there. I mean, you've got this channel, haven't you? You've got this channel, obviously, is on.
Yeah, and we've got Mark's channel, and there's one called TCN, which nobody subscribes to. So if it all goes pear shape, which we're trying not to. I'm trying to censor myself. I'm trying to not swear quite as much.
Well,
which is the one where we did a video and
it's
it's me and Mark like talking to each other, and I'm wearing that hat, that Christmas hat. Is that video still there?
Which one, Ben?
The video where Mark and I sort of like interviewing each other, and I'm wearing that hat.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, is that Christmas hat with the ears?
Yeah, with
Gnomes
the
in
ears.
cars. Gnomes in cars.
Gnomes in cars.
Oh yeah, Neil and I were talking about the gnomes in cars the other day because he was on the Hapamo show, and we were talking about the gnomes in cars.
Well, a lady we kind of know-ish, Kate Hairgirl, Hair in the Hawthorne. She's written a book on it.
Oh right.
Yeah.
Because all those kids. I mean, are they still like? It's a bit like the Ariel School thing. I mean, are those kids still? Obviously, they're like old now. They must be like middle-aged. Are they still talking about it? Do they still talk about it?
I don't think so. I think didn't somebody try and find them and couldn't or something?
Yeah.
I might have just made that up.
Because that would have been if they're still like if they could confirm the story today, it'll be like Ariel. It'll be like the Ariel School or the Broadhaven thing.
Yeah.
They'll say, "Well, hang on, we were little kids and we were just having a laugh. We didn't mean it." But then if they say, "Yeah, no, we really saw it."
Yeah, but I mean,
that would be really significant.
The very fact that there's no kind of I faked the Gnomes in Cars Facebook page would make you assume that nobody has denied it, because
in this day and age, that it's too tempting. If you start playing silly buggers and you make something up and you fool the world, it's too tempting not to come forward and confess, isn't it? Surely somebody would come forward in this world.
We don't know
surely, yeah. Somebody would come forward and confess, wouldn't they?
Yeah, I think
and
so.
They don't.
Yeah,
they
100%.
haven't.
Yeah, exactly. So conference is coming up. What's the next one you've got then, Ben?
2 weeks' time. It's Weird Weekend North.
Oh yeah, you like that one?
Tickets
left,
I think.
Yes.
Oh God, the lard. I'm going to.
You have to try and regain your crown.
Don't do that again, Ben.
Oh, no.
Don't do that again. That makes me actually want to be sick. I have to fast forward that bit.
I don't know if I'm up to that again. Oh dear.
No, I'm not up to watching you eat lard again.
I don't know what the hell was I doing. Hello, DJ.
You did it twice.
DJ, that's good.
Did you win both years?
Yeah, 3 times I did it. I did it in 2018 as well when I spoke. How I got through my speech.
Well, you've had a detox since then. You can't go around eating bloody lard after that.
DJ, I'll be talking about the pyramids later on my live stream. Shameless plug.
Ben's got a live stream at 9, DJ.
Yeah, we've had a little chat about it already, DJ. But yeah, Ben's going to be
Yeah.
getting in on it on his channel. But no, it's fascinating stuff. I was just saying to DJ about Andrew Collins and how his exploration of the cave system under there, and I think there's so much more to come out there. I think there's definitely.
Oh God, yeah, totally.
Bye, Pete. Good luck.
See you, Pete. Yeah,
He's
good
just
luck.
nearly at the hospital.
Greenty
All
was
the best,
saying that
mate.
the TCN channel is difficult to find. We'll have to maybe post a link.
Yeah,
or something.
there's nobody
Please do,
on
yeah.
it. It's just a little backup channel.
Yeah, it's just
It's worth having.
But
I've got
Mark's
a
is as
second
well,
YouTube
the
channel.
less nihilistic Mark.
Yeah.
So make sure you all
Oh, I'm-
subscribe to that, because if this one goes to shit, then
I'm
we'll
sub
start
to
with
that.
you.
Yeah.
Margaret's got dinner.
Bye, Margaret.
Right, Margaret.
So I thought
I'm
we'd go
sub to
extra
Mark.
early today because we knew Ben was doing
channel,
the thing.
Mark.
Ah,
I'm
got me
sub. I'm sub to your channel, Mark. I am.
You what, Ben?
I'm
I
sub
was
to
making
Mark's
a-
channel. Yeah, less nihilistic Mark.
Yeah.
I'm sub to
Yeah,
that.
it's all good.
Yeah, it's an exciting world, isn't it? I mean, it's like there's just so much going on. I'd like to be able to sit back and just write another a bit more on my serial and stuff like that.
Ben, the last time I knew you were writing something, you were writing a spy book. Did anything ever come of that?
No, I mean I was going to make a series of videos about spies, but nothing came of it because I had to get back into the woo woo.
You did a lot of research on it, though, didn't you?
Yeah, I've got one video up. It's called Part 1 because it was going to be a series, but I only ever did one. So I think it's just going to have to be Part 1 and no other.
Yeah, the world.
It's a good video. I'm
the
proud
actual
of it.
world is weirder than fiction, isn't it?
The thing is,
I'm
you
proud
say
of it.
about
Though.
going back to the woo woo, but the spy stuff does connect up to the woo woo. You know, I did a live stream on it ages ago now, about a year ago now. But obviously, you got all the sort of Ian Fleming stuff, and his,
Yeah.
you know, 007 was John Dee's.
I watched it. I saw it, Mark. I remember I saw that.
And all the connections maybe with Aleister Crowley and how he was involved, you know, with MI5 and all this stuff, like connecting with all the stuff around the Second World War and I think there's been lots of books written about a bit of a hi Derek.
Hi Derek.
How it was a bit of a almost an esoteric battle behind the scenes, you know, over the two sides. In the
That's a good.
War.
I remember it, and of course it ties. I remember that one, Mark. That's interesting. It is true because of the connection with Fleming, who was an occultist, and also the fact that it all ties into the Helen Duncan thing, the witchcraft trial, which I've covered.
Oh yeah, that's very
detail.
interesting.
Yeah.
Talks about
there's
that.
actually tomorrow night. There's something on BBC Three about it.
About Helen Duncan.
Yes, there's a program on.
Is there?
I can't remember. It's on. I did share it on Facebook. It's Maggie Hahn, Helen's granddaughter. She told me about it. So that's going to be very interesting because Fleming was involved in that. Because Fleming was involved, he was actually coordinating the whole thing.
Wow.
To get Helen put away.
Yeah. Wow.
Because they really believed, and whether it's true or not, I personally think it was true. But you know, even the skeptics, I have to admit, you know, there were people high up who believed it was true. And
they believed it enough to kind of. They were worried enough to put her, you know, to tell her to shut the fuck up, weren't they? Do you know what I mean?
Well, they could have paid it. Why they didn't pay her off, I don't know, because it would have been cheaper than the damn trial just to say don't practice for a few months.
They wouldn't have even had a conversation with her, Ben, if they weren't taking that serious. Ben, for people that don't know what we're banging on about, in a nutshell, just talk about Helen Duncan and the things why she was a threat to the war.
In a nutshell, Helen Duncan was a lady from Scotland who was a very powerful manifestation medium, one of the most powerful in history. And she was very successful, very well known and famous. And in 1944, in March of 1944, she was jailed under the Witchcraft Act of 1735. This is a law more than 200 years old. It was completely moribund. It was just the only reason it was on the statute books is no one could be bothered to get enough MPs together to repeal it. And so they dusted off this old archaic law to get her chucked, banged up in Holloway prison for 9 months. And the reason was, of course, because they were already planning Operation Overlord, this was the invasion of Europe, which took place on the 6th of June, D-Day. And Helen had already revealed several secrets through the testimony of the dead. Basically, these ships had sunk a few years earlier. They'd been sunk by the Germans, and the sailors had come through in spirit and had contacted members of their family and things like that through Helen. And basically, we know for a fact that they were watching her because Brigadier Roy Firebrace, another occultist, he was leading a human intelligence operation to monitor her, because they knew damn well that if our side was watching Helen, you could be damn sure the enemy was as well. They would have their own spies in her seances, and they were terrified that someone would come forward and give away too many wartime secrets. In November 1943, one of those landing boats sunk. You know, the ones with the ramp at the front, those infantry landing craft? One of those sunk on an exercise off the coast of Dorset. I think 143 sailors drowned, and they were floating around the spirit world. They knew about Overlord. Now, you could that phrase from the spy fiction. We had to kill him because he knew too much.
Mm-hmm.
But what do you do if you can't silence someone even by killing them?
Yeah.
This is an unpluggable leak. And so they decided to frame Helen Duncan and put her away somewhere where she couldn't have any contact with the public until D-Day was over. It's a long, complicated, dodgy story.
It was real. They just wouldn't.
Yeah.
They believed it was real. Yeah, they people very high up were open. And Fleming, as you know, he believed it was real. Because Marky, as you talked about, Ian Fleming was totally open-minded about the spiritual world and things like that. So was Firebrace. Firebrace knew Crowley as well. He was connected to the Scottish SPR, the Society of Psychical Research. Fleming was in the SPR. There was all kinds of things. There's connections to that. There was connections to the London Spiritual Alliance. Which it's called the College of Psychic Studies today. And what's his name? The guy with the pipe, researcher. He was brought in. I can't think of his name. His name will come back to me. But anyway, he was brought in to basically coach the prosecution. I think he was part of the cover-up. And
she actually got put in prison, didn't she?
Yes. She was jailed for 9 whole months, and she got no time off at all. It was she got the maximum sentence, basically.
Wasn't she the last person to get done for witchcraft, or was that we just made that up?
No, she was the last person to be jailed. There was another prosecution which never went around. I mean, which never went anywhere. The act was actually repealed in 1951, replaced with the Fraudulent Medium Act.
It's absolutely bonkers. Materialists.
Harry Price. Sorry.
Of course, this sort of stuff doesn't happen. Well, I'm sorry, it was literally part of your law. Where they actually put people in prison because they thought less than 100 years ago.
Yeah,
it's astonishing, isn't it? Yeah, I
remember Freeman Fly, I think, saying, where people say, or he said, you may not believe in the occult, but the people in power above you certainly do.
They do indeed, yeah.
What was it? Millionaires don't practice the occult, but billionaires do. Somebody said that, didn't they?
That's a good way. That's a good way to put it. Yeah, that's a good way to put it.
That's why I bought some incense sticks and a candle.
Oh yeah, good idea. Well, they're hoping to get Helen. Maggie's hoping to pardon Helen under the Turing law, because this is the same law that pardoned Alan Turing. Because the statute he was
been pardoned yet. I thought she'd been.
But she hasn't, no, because Turing was pardoned. He got an apology. He got an apology first of all from Helen, from what's her name, Sturgeon.
So technically, she's still being done under the Witchcraft Act.
Although this is crazy though, because Turing was pardoned because the sodomy laws were repealed. In Scotland, they weren't repealed.
There's nothing Ben doesn't know, if anybody's listening.
Well, on this subject, yeah. So Turing was pardoned. Along with a lot of other people prosecuted under that law. You see, this is a legal precedent that could apply to the Witchcraft Act as well. If it applies to the Le Boucher amendment of the sodomy laws, then it can apply also to the Witchcraft Act, because it's an identical legal situation.
Makes you wonder why they're putting a film on about her now.
I mean, I can't wait to see it. I mean, it's the BBC, so we've got to be. It's probably BBC is dodgy. I mean, they occasionally come out with good things, but their last that recent program thing, I can't stand the presenter of that Robbins guy on the. I've forgotten the title of it now, but there's this new series that's come out, and he's really annoying. He's got a really annoying presenter.
We don't watch any of that nonsense.
But it's not a bad program, but it's just the presenter. I can't stand him. He's such a bloody. He's a slimy little kind of like drip. He's the kind of kid who used to He reminds me of the kid who used to come up and try and get your dinner money off you by telling a sob, because he wanted to steal your dinner money, but he was too puny, so he just used to tell a sob story until you felt sorry for him and handed it over. You know? What's that? What's it called? Oh, I can't remember what it's called now. The series.
Derek's like, what the fuck are you going on about?
No, I'm following, and it's all good. I'm catching up at the same time, and yeah, I mean, I get the idea that with any kind of television programming, what they're presenting, it's going to be to whatever degree a sanitized version of history or recounting said story and that kind of stuff. Although it can be quite insightful and educational, but they're not given some of those tender, juicy details that. Yeah, right.
It's like a little seed, then you can go off and do the proper research.
Yeah, it's my hopes are not high, but we'll find out when we actually see it.
Tie in again, I can't remember if it was BBC or another channel, but there is a program coming out, or it's just come out recently, about the pyramids with Bradley Walsh, who's this like comedy presenter guy in the UK. But I did read a snippet there saying, obviously it's not built by aliens, and it was just sort of trial and error.
What?
The building of the pyramids, sorry.
Oh.
Actually, this all was before the recent revelations and things, but it's just a way again of seeming to sort of try and police things using the media. I don't know.
It's almost like getting there first. If they get a sniff that something's going to come out, we've got to get in there first for the you
got to control the narrative.
Exactly,
yeah, got it.
State-controlled version.
Have you heard anything about all this stuff around the Egyptian pyramids, Derek? Is it
the stuff underneath the thing?
Yeah, and that's kind of what I was also had in mind. An hour ago when we were chatting a little bit in regards to all these content creators. As soon as a little bit of information drops or the pot gets stirred to like even a quarter of a degree, there's a frenzy because all these content creators, they're making money off of it. They have to feed the fucking algorithms and appease to that and appease to their audience and all that stuff, and they need that dopamine hit of likes and subscribers and all that crap with money behind it in a lot of instances and all that. And I'm talking about the alternative media and like the YouTubery aspects of it. And then we can talk about the talking heads on television and all that crap as well. I don't think a whole lot of people have a clear idea of what has been, revealed. And there's, these AI generated images of what's possibly underneath the pyramids. Mm-hmm. Relax, everyone. Those are kind of not exactly what, is being interpreted graphically from the resonance measurements and all that they took.
They're
you were saying, wasn't it?
They're speculative diagrams. We don't know that's what they look like, it looks like you see there's no doubt this technique is not 100% accurate. I mean, it often makes errors. No doubt they'll have calibrated it since they first started using it, but still, I'm still going to wait and see what happens with all this. But I mean, some people, I think, like there are grifters. I know it's true. I mean, the whole mainstream media is a big grift, and there are alternative grifters. I mean, my friend Darcy Weir has recently done a couple of videos on the more dishonest people on our side of the debate, if you can call it that. But I mean, I think there's other people you can just see they are like sincere, like what's her name, Funny Oldie World. She's you could just see like that she's 100% honest and sincere. I mean, she's totally over. I mean, she's quite amusing to watch her actually because she's just totally overdosed on her kind of youthful exuberance, and
she doesn't sell the wellness project.
I don't even think her channel is actually monetized. I'm not sure even if her channel's monetized, but she's done.
We were talking about this, Ben, before you popped in about how. Yeah, well, you do good for your views, but we're just muddling along, and then it's like, hold on a minute, 9 people are listening to us out of all the things in the whole. That's just amazing.
Yeah,
and I wouldn't be like, We need to big ourselves up.
Well, don't
You
be
know,
surprised, yeah, if you're getting more than that, because I don't believe YouTube stats are actually honest.
well,
I
yeah.
mean, I think
My
they are downplaying
thing I
deliberately.
got the most views for is because I read out what is it, Weird Scenes in the Canyon. I did a really shit job of it. I don't care, but I do get a lot of views for that. But it goes up and down, up and down. It's like you've got 2,000 views, you've got 1,000 views, you've got
Yeah.
2,500 views, you've got 2 views. So make your fucking mind up. I don't care.
I had some blogger articles. I started to get suspicious when I noticed that. Obviously, like, I got shadow banned very suddenly in the spring of 2018, and you can see exactly when all my stats dropped by about 2/3. That's shadow banning. Definitely, I was my channel and my entire Google account basically was targeted. But now I'm actually started getting there's been a couple of articles where I'm literally getting more comments than views. There's
Yeah,
one
wow,
how's that
yeah,
possible?
yeah.
That cannot be possible if those
No.
view figures are accurate. Even if you take it, I mean, it's even worse when you take into account that they claim a lot of it's bots anyway. When your views go up, they say, oh, most of those are just bots. And I'm
Yeah.
like, well, but hang on, I'm getting more comments and views, so there's more people commenting than there are supposedly watching, along with even all the bots. Now, how is that possible? Unless
It's how it goes up and down, Ben. I used to get
Yeah.
really sad about it, and Mark was like, "It's bullshit. It's not real."
They
You
want
know.
you to think that. They want you to look at your own viewing figures and think, there's no point me doing this because no one's watching me. I might as
That's
well just give
exactly
up.
it.
That's what they want you to do. That's why they're giving you a false impression of your own profile, your own reach.
I've probably got about 2 million followers.
You get a lot more. You get a lot more than you think you
More.
do. So do I. I bet we both do.
Call myself Joe Rogue Mum with my 2 million invisible followers. Brilliant.
Yeah, but I just want to correct what I said real quick because I know there's a lot of people that I'm saying, like, in a kind way as well. Like, people have a proper intention. They want to inform other people. They latch onto some information. They might jump to the conclusion before the dust settles a little too much because for XYZ reason, it doesn't matter. It just boils down to, like, can we just leave the minds of the listeners open to what else is out there, what's going to be revealed. This is just the beginning. Settle down, y'all. Hold your horses. Don't beat a dead horse or what, as well, and whatever other proverbs that has horse in there or whatever.
Horses. It's like we were saying the other day. It's like you've got to have made your mind up about something. Do you remember when we were talking about how everything's gone to shit, including the education?
Polarized and all that stuff. Yeah,
you're not allowed to go, I don't know. You've got to know. You've got to know what your gender is when you're 2. I don't know. You've got to know your opinion on something. And if you don't know, what's your feeling on this? You can't just go, I don't know. You've got to be on one side or the other about things.
It's really annoying because you get this from the skeptics because they'll say things like, well, you just believe things, you never investigate. But when you do investigate, they say, stop investigating that. What are you doing?
Well, you're investigating the wrong bit.
You cannot win with it.
It's okay not to know.
It's okay. Yeah, it's okay not to be certain. Why? I'm not certain about everything. I'm not certain.
You're less bigoted then as well, aren't you? You're less. What is it when bias? What is it? Something confirmation bias. You're less prone to confirmation bias, aren't you?
If you allow a grey box, yes, why not? If you allow sort of like an I don't know tray rather than in and out tray, then yeah.
I love it. Yeah,
exactly. Yeah, I'm poetic this evening. This is a warm-up act for my own live stream later, guys. Yeah.
9 o'clock. We're
9
all
o'clock.
just like
Panmo TV. Yeah.
cattle. I nearly said sheep. Go over to Ben's at 9 o'clock. We're just the warm-up act. We were talking about that as well.
I said, I've got to start rehearsing actually, and I've still got to still got to look up a couple more things. I'm now doing 2 subjects instead of 1. So
you've got to go and get in your makeup as well, Ben, and all that.
Yes, got to get the wig on.
Your wig's slipping.
Yeah, it is. Got to get the wig on.
I think it slipped
can't
right off
like this.
You'll find it on the back of your chair later on.
It's great talking to you guys, and thanks for
thanks for popping in, Ben. And we'll see you soon.
Yeah.
And
Bye-bye.
come on and do, because you were going. Oh, he's gone. Bloody hell, he means business, doesn't he? Right, okay, bye. Gone. So
Yeah,
how are
cool
you,
guy.
Derek? Do you want to know how much? Guess how much of the paper we've read since you've been gone?
Oof. 2 pages.
2 pages. How about 2 words?
What?
I think I said net zero, and then Ben popped in, and then that was the end of that. So I don't
Hey,
actually know
cool.
why I've got. It's like more of a prop, I think.
Well, that's all right. Yeah,
It's
we've had people to talk to, so it's
Yeah,
Yeah, I suppose.
if you wanted to tap into the reading, go for it. But if you don't mind, I wanted to just chime in real quick and ask you both a question in regards to what Ben was talking about when I popped in initially, or jumped in and whatever. Yeah, my French words, whatever. Yeah, as far as like the whole, this, we've seen it throughout the centuries, these, witch trial trauma cycles that keep playing out to whatever degree in the public domain, and also even be on the domestic level, on the macro to microcosmic scale, and this and that. Just, yeah, like someone is exhibiting, just, I don't know, just extra special abilities or things that other people don't have or whatever. But it could just be translated to today of just, people that can see, as far as, the movie They Live or that kind of stuff. So yeah, I guess my question would be, how do you see these trauma cycles being played out in the modern day?
well, it's funny.
You think like Christina?
Yeah.
Yeah. So I'll just take over the mic.
Take over the mic.
Do you remember yesterday or whenever it was? I said for the first time in my life, I didn't realise, but I'm actually a TERF.
Right? Yeah.
Somebody said you're a TERF, and I was like, "What the fucking hell does that mean?" I didn't have a clue what that meant, and then I was like, "Oh, I might be actually." Yeah. To be fair, don't hate trans people.
Right. Yeah.
Never hated a trans person in my
Weaponized
life.
term. Yeah. Yeah.
Never been a radical feminist in my life. Recently, okay, it's starting to wind me up a little bit. Okay, so I met a woman who was doing a stall at the occult conference, and she set up this. She's bloody brilliant. She's Italian. That's what I said to Mark. I said, why do Italian women just get more and more gorgeous as they get older? And I'm just sitting here, a King Edward potato. I'm just a potato.
I vehemently defended you.
And you laughed. I was like, she's absolutely stunning. I'm just sat here like a bag of spuds. What's going on? Anyway, she set up this occult, esoteric secret. Oh, am I beeping? Oh, can you hear me? Right, like a secret society to impart esoteric knowledge to and for women. Okay, and she's been told off because she only wants to impart this knowledge to biological women, because she says that's all she know. What she's teaching about, like we were talking about the nonsense that I talk about, my private nonsense. There's no point in trying to teach that to somebody who hasn't got the bits and the bobs. Okay, and do you remember we were talking about the divine feminine and the divine masculine? Mark's
Yeah.
always
Mental
banging on about.
gender, just mentalism as well. Yeah. The mental health.
Yes, exactly. It's not even on a physical level. It's on a transcendental level. I don't know. And she said to me, because I met her again the other day at another somewhere else, and we were talking about this, and she said, do you know what? And she was so right. She said, this is the witch trials all over again. They are burning witches. This is because she's what I would call, she's a witch that I would go to. And I have. I'm paying her money, not a lot of money, every month to be part of this secret society. I like to call it because I like to think I'm fancy. But she doesn't dress in purple, bloody crushed velvet. She doesn't have bloody black cats on her earrings. You know what I mean? She's kind of like an esoteric, wise woman. That I would trust.
I see it as a founder of a sisterhood, if you will.
And that's what she is. I've even got a poster up there behind me. Exactly.
Yeah,
but she's being told off left, right, and centre at places where she advertises, at stalls and things, because she only wants biological women. And she's being called all sorts of names and being told off, and she's had to really word it like almost. I don't know how you'd explain it. How would you explain how she words it to get round it?
She words it so, this knowledge is just based on the experience of biological women, so we can't offer a service to trans people because that's not where our experience lies, type thing.
But she was told that is going to offend people, the word biological women. I'm like, fuck off. Oh, yeah. I'm offended. But then that's when she said, this is the modern day witch burning. And I was like, fucking spot on.
That does.
Hold on, let Derek speak.
Yep.
Mind blown.
Yeah, go for it, Mark. Yeah, go for it. Yeah. It's your show.
I was just
mind blown. Yeah, it's just like I'm pointing at like, damn, that's spot on. Yeah.
And it does tie in as well to the original witch trials that happened in whatever James the First day and that time, and because I think that was an assault against the divine feminine and that aspect of the old goddess worship and that sort of thing, and it was all part of the trying to impose patriarchal. I'm not using that in terms of a sort of left-wing ideology type of how they do it, but basically, this suppressing the natural pagan religions of before to impose a new order.
Well, natural law, like we were talking about.
Well, yeah, that which also, yeah, of course, and 100% what's happening with what Liz was talking about, it is completely a disruption of natural law, just in terms of the natural, well, how people are naturally created, and the whole. But the whole thing in the ancient societies, the whole all these megalithic structures, they're all about megaliths representing female and male, and of course connecting with the sun and the moon, which is masculine and physic and feminine energies, and that's been the source of energy for for the beginning of time, and it's all an attempt to disrupt that and break that, I think.
What is your thoughts on it, Derek?
Yeah, since time immemorial, it just seems like and yeah, as you said, Mark, it's not the leftist ideology, views of, the patriarchy and all that stuff, but just in general, it seems like, there has been more of an attack upon the divine feminine for eons. And I think the reason for that is because women are the, quote unquote gatekeepers of this reality. You birth life into this 3D dimension and that kind of stuff, right? And I'm thoughts coming to my mind, and just more questions rather of just back in the good old pre Saint Patrick fat prick Catholic crap, like I'm talking about, like, yeah, the Tuatha and all that stuff, before the invasions and all that stuff. How did these proper pagan tribes and communities, how did they respect and revere women, and what were like the quote unquote gender roles and that kind of stuff? And how did any of these ancient, even like the Native Americans, where I'm from in America, that kind of stuff, that kind of intrigued me for a while growing up. And so, like, did we forget how our ancestors used to relate to one another, whether it be within the brotherhood or the sisterhood or the divine intersex relationships, if you will, and that kind of stuff? And just, yeah, any thoughts on that?
I mean, I've talked before, people have probably got sick about me mentioning it, but I heard a talk at the symposium last year a woman called Tanishka, the Moon Woman. I don't know, she's quite big on Facebook and stuff like that. But she was talking, and she's done a very interesting book, I think, saying the Grail, like the Holy Grail, how that originally was it was Graal, which relates to the menstrual cycle, and it was all to do with. But it was like a sisterhood, the priestesses, and it was all part of these ceremonies, both to guide women through these different natural cycles, but also specifically to guide the men through these different sort of coming of age things, to go through these different stages of life. Particularly the biggest one was with the winter solstice, because that was going into the darkest period of the year, which was regarded as the most feminine time. But men not having this intuitive connection, which links with what you were saying about giving birth, the matrix, the maternal. So it was required for them to be the guiding. So but it wasn't like a matriarchy, like the women were in charge, but it was, like you say, it was a sympathetic relationship between the two. But the priestesses were of vital importance because they needed to guide the men through, and if men are going to these stages of life where they were going to become husbands, or then the idea of then warriors becoming kings or something.
Yeah.
And it does go into the tarot 100%. Yeah.
Do you know what I was literally just thinking about that card? Hold it up again. One of you said that women, what was it you said about women and they give birth to life and all of that? And you said something yesterday or whenever it was, Derek, about having to come through the pillars or something, didn't you?
Very important. Yeah.
Think about it. If those pillars, now this might sound completely bonkers and a little bit weird. Imagine those two pillars are women's legs, okay? And you're giving birth between those two pillars. Do you know what I'm just saying? That's just what popped in my head literally 2 seconds ago.
Yes. I'm glad you reminded us of that, because I thought that was spot on and so interesting. And you said that really that card should come before the magician, because yes, there needs to be that guiding force, and that's what's been cut out from society, like so you say, with the invasions, the empires, the patriarchies that have destroyed that. They've disrupted that natural cycle of things, and it's led to the destruction that we've had for centuries. And it's going
it's
to
just
another
knocked
level.
It off balance. It's just knocked it off a natural balance. We keep coming back to talking about balance, don't we? It's a very, what they say, the I don't know, what is it they say, the path to hell is paved with good intentions. Of course we don't want to be horrible to bloody trans people. Of course we don't want to be horrible to this, that and the other. Of course we don't want to be horrible to gay people. And that's not, of course not. Don't be so bloody ridiculous. The good intentions, we want to be kind to everybody. We don't want to exclude anybody. That's not what we're saying. But don't fucking push us. Don't push us so far over there that the train falls off the tracks. It's got to be balance.
Yeah, it's kind of like respect your ancestors. Like, you wouldn't be here if a man and a woman came together and conceived, your great grandfather or whatever, mother. Yeah, and going back to balance, and we see the magician with all the, the elements on the table, right?
Yeah, material element. Bring it up. God Almighty, we just like. I wish people understood how important the tarot was. And it's the hero's journey on steroids, isn't it?
And yeah, the playing cards, the ace, spades, clubs, and hearts, they correspond to, the cups, swords, wands, and the pentacles, right? And what has happened within, the ass backwards world that we live in is that, the elements with the human being the quintessential fifth element, I guess, that spirits, that's the inverted pentagram, right? And so we have to find that balance to, resurface that and have our feet on the ground and head in the stars and be
Yeah,
that
100%.
stellar human being here on Earth.
And it even is the shape of a person upside down, isn't it? And
Yeah.
the pentagram is an actual shape of a person upside down. And that's where the
Like
Baphomet
Vinci
comes
something,
into
yeah.
it as well, because people think, oh, that means we got to all be trannies, because the Baphomet and back in the day, their gods were all trannies. No, it doesn't mean that. It means that they had the duality, they had the divine male and feminine in balance inside themselves. It didn't mean they cut bits off or glued bits on. They didn't do, it wasn't about that. It doesn't mean that. It means that they transcended that. They transcended all of the nonsense that comes with being a woman and all of the nonsense that comes with being a man, or not being a woman or not being a man. They transcended all of that on a spiritual or whatever level, up their level. It doesn't mean cut shit off or glue shit on. It means they had the balance, the yin and the yang. And I'm not making any sense, but people just take things so fucking literally, don't they? And it's being used as propaganda. Oh, transgenders love the Baphomet because he's a tranny. He's got one of them, and he's got boobs, and he's got a wig. That doesn't mean that. You fucking idiot.
I mean, it's interesting because I read a lot of esoteric, back in the day, hermaphrodites were always very important to ancient societies or esoteric.
For this reason.
But hermaphrodites are something that naturally occurs in a very.
And it symbolises, sorry, I get on one when we talk about this. It's hermaphrodites were revered because they materially symbolized what we're trying to attain on a spiritual level, which is the beautiful coming together of these two fucking elements, energies, whatever it is. They were the physical embodiment of that. So of course they were revered. It doesn't mean that's better. It's just a physical embodiment of what they were trying to get alchemically.
It seems what they're doing now maybe seems to be a version of more like, is it the cult of, I don't know if it was Sybil or Cybele, that the goddess that came from what's now Turkey, but got adopted by Rome at one stage, and but they had these mad cults sort of developed over the years, but and the followers used to actually go in a frenzy and actually castrate themselves.
That's what they're doing now.
And
that's what's going on now, mate.
Yeah.
Because they've got their feet in the material. They're not like the magician. They've not got their wand. They're not reaching up to the divine. They're just stuck with their bits and pieces on the table.
Ooh,
and yeah, shut up.
Like this is image stuck with your bits and pieces on the table. That's one.
And if we don't know how to use them,
you glue your bits on. Stop it. Put your glue guns down, dickheads.
All right, so I got two things. Yeah, hermaphrodite. That's an interesting word. Have you ever heard that it's a combination of Hermes, Aphrodite?
Yeah.
You have
amazing.
Okay, yeah.
Isn't it? I never thought about that before.
Isn't it?
Right.
Wasn't
some of the teachings that I've learned, it's also considered like Hyros Gamos. Yeah, just that unity consciousness, right? And you said that brilliantly, Liz, for sure. And what people need to understand is like what we have going on today is nothing like what you were referring to, of that like manifestation of that spiritual embodiment, unification. And but we have children growing up today, born through pharmakia mafioso industrial complex that is based off of the hospitalier, where there's certain chains of command in a military type of sense, right? And it's backed by all types of allopathic assholes and that kind of stuff. And so the parents, what kinds of meds were they taking when they conceived? What was the women ingesting and whatever meds and needlecraft they had going on? And then when the baby is born, what kind of needlecraft? And people need to understand that some of the ingredients contain aborted fetal tissue cell, and that's mixing both male and female DNA into a young child. So imagine that kind of can answer some of the gender dysphoria phenomena out there, type of thing.
And
Yeah.
the
then-
chemicals in shampoos.
Yeah.
And, you know,
Then the puberty blockers imposed on these young children that are not even old enough to buy a pack of smokes. Come on, like you
and then the social contagion. So they've gone all through that. They come out the other end. They go on TikTok, and then boom, they are socially conditioned.
and some of these parents are making clout off of their kids to do that.
Don't get me fucking started.
Yeah, sorry, yeah. No, we don't have to go there because we're not transphobic. We're transcendentalists. You know, there's a
Oh,
That's a
you know?
t-shirt.
I'm having that. I'll give you 5% of my profits because I'm only going to sell one to him.
We'll wear it at your festival, Derek.
Yeah, I love it. Brilliant. But it's just so true. And it's right, you talk now because I'm just going to go off on one about parents.
No,
I will go off on one about I'm not, can't be bothered.
Well, Green Tea makes a good point. The folks that want to reduce the population giggle to see people sterilizing themselves. Green Tea, yeah. I mean, it works on that agenda level as well, of course, because these people aren't going to have children. So
there's so many different ways we could go down, isn't there? Bloody hell.
Yeah, totally.
This is great.
You can take it however you want, and sometimes, I have to not offend other parents because I don't have a child myself, so I can't speak about things that any human being, even a child, can learn that there's objective truths about these things. And holy smokes, wow, like just because someone gave birth to a child doesn't mean that they all of a sudden know everything. They're the best parent for their child, and you know what I mean? So
absolutely ridiculous.
yeah, so I've gotten a
Why
lot
don't
of
we talk
flack
about natural
sometimes
law?
online from these things. Even grade school friends growing up and this and that, like, oh, you're trying to tell me how to raise my kid and this and that.
Yeah, I
'cause
am.
It's like, no, I just said something that I've learned that was true, and if you're offended by it and triggered by it, that's your fucking issue. I didn't tell you how to raise your kid and this and that. I might be telling you indirectly that you're wrong about something. You can take it as personal as you want, but that's your fucking problem. It's not mine. And that's the
And
thing.
don't you think if you're triggered by something, I always say if you're triggered by something, you need to be looking at that. I try to do that myself. I
That'll
get
work.
triggered by a lot of things, as you can probably tell. I know I hold it in quite well. I'm not an emotional woman anyway, but you do have to look at that. You do have to do your shadow work. I didn't really understand what that meant a few years ago, shadow work. I was like, I can remember sending an email to Tina saying, how do I do my shadow work? What's all this I've been hearing about shadow? What the bloody hell's going on? And then I watched, what was that? For years, they were like, oh, you won't like that film. Oh, no, you won't like that film. And then I watched it, Fight Club. And if that's not about doing your shadow work, I don't know what is. And all the symbolism of it is in water, and so that's obviously the subconscious, like it is in the tarot, etc. And then all of a sudden, I was like, I fucking get what shadow work is now. And so, anyway, going back to being triggered, if you're triggered by something, it's touching a nerve. It's kind of a good thing because it's saying there's something here. It's like getting a bump on your arm. Ow, that hurt. Well, don't keep bumping your. You know what I mean? It's kind of like do something, think something because you're feeling something. Something's going on here. But no, what do? They bite the person that's triggering them or whatever instead of looking
they
at themselves.
react. They don't have that responsibility, right? They're just overreacting on that kind of stuff.
React, emote. And that's all that matters at the moment. It doesn't matter what the truth is, like we were saying the other day. It doesn't matter what the objective truth is. It's what's your truth? Fuck off. What's your truth? No. What is the truth? Not what's your truth. Because like we said, natural law doesn't give two shits about your truth. It just gives a shit if the kid's going to run off the cliff. You know what I mean? My truth is, oh no, I'm in this field and I can't see the kid doing that. There's a kid's still going to fall off the fucking cliff. And people aren't taught anymore to think rationally and objectively. They're just taught to emote.
Yeah,
Says
and
the
we're
most
not saying
emotional
like
thing
fuck
in
your
this chat
feelings.
room.
It's more like you have to put your fucking feelings aside to really just, you know, be in line with truth sometimes, you know, like, and those are the triggers, and like it's like the emotional radar, like what's coming up. You have to, you know, step aside back and try to fall into that hermit card in the tarot and be that objective observer
Love
as
it.
best as you can.
Yeah,
You know?
I love it. And I love the fact that we can use the tarot for
Yeah, for
every
sure.
single conversation we have. You know what I mean? It's just ridiculous how it is literally. I just say it's like I was saying to Derek the other day. People are scared of the tarot. Look at like I love it. I painted that for I did a little video for that for Linda.
I mean, what's wrong with the tarot? I mean, this guy, he looks like Gandalf the Grey. No Frodo, you know?
Who
What
doesn't
the
want to do that? Who
hell?
doesn't want to be that guy? You know, honest
It's
to
the
God,
Christian bastardization or whatever, right?
but people don't realise the tarot is just Jungian psychology. If you called it Jungian psychology, they're like, oh, right, okay, and I get it now. Tarot cards and mirrors, use them to pull up the deep shit and look at it and do something about it. That's all tarot is. It's not, it's probably
Ooh,
not
but
all tarot is, but
there's more, but you know, with kind of like that Joseph Campbell-esque hero's journey twist to it as
I'm
well.
halfway through reading that.
Yeah.
Halfway through reading it, but for the
Oh, cool.
channel. I'm videoing myself reading
That's
it.
great.
Yeah.
Awesome.
I'm
Hell yeah.
halfway through, and then I got halfway through, and I nearly had a nervous breakdown. I was like, "What the fucking hell's
Yeah.
going on?" But
By
so
the
yeah,
way, Green Tea had a great comment as far as like, yeah, puberty is awkward. It's normal to feel odd and clumsy. For sure. We've all been there, right?
still
It is
bloody
meant to
do.
be blocked. You know, it's supposed to be, yeah, we cannot suppress those things, just like we cannot suppress our emotions or thoughts and all these things, because they kind of get, you know, swept under the rug, and a monster builds after that. And, you know,
Exactly.
yeah, that
But then it goes
into the
back to
whole,
what Mark was saying about how
yeah.
there used to be rituals for the men and the women to deal with things like puberty and the monsters and the perceived shit.
Ooh,
You know, you used to have the, you know.
Yeah, well, I suppose that was a ritualized way of doing your shadow work or dealing with the shadow, because, you know, and as I say, the biggest time was the winter solstice, which you can say is the biggest shadow in terms of a natural cycle of the world.
Yeah. And with
So
the sun going down.
Now we don't have that. You know, what is it? Coming of age, go and get pissed up and get a stripper or something like that. Do you know what I mean? You know, it's like, hey, you might have been taken out and had to hunt something. I don't know.
Ha! Yeah,
But but learning how to hunt would have sustained you and your tribe. You
no,
know,
where's the
getting
rites of
pissed and
passage
getting a
these
stripper. Just
days?
saying.
You know, from boyhood to manhood, where are these rites of passages that, you know, got lost over time, that used to be really legit and would really create boys to men? You know,
yeah, and that
and same for
also,
women. You know, and I'm not sexist. Yeah. Sorry, Mark.
We
Yeah.
don't even care.
yeah. But I mean, yeah, you're totally right. It does all coincide with the hero's journey, and it was all about, as well, things like the transition from the warrior to the king, and they had to go through these rituals so that they would rule wisely and that sort of thing. So all of this became integrated in like the Grail legends of King Arthur, that sort of thing. You know, again, it was the hero's journey, and so totally it all connects to the tarot as well. It's another.
And there's also that thing that you were talking about chopping the king up, burying him, and then he'd grow back again or something.
Yeah.
And so he'd have to go to the underworld, like, what's the green god called? The green god in Egypt. What's the green one called? Osiris?
Osiris was dismembered, yeah, and went
down into the underground,
yeah.
underworld. And
Yeah.
that is people look at these what's our favorite word? Alchemical texts and drawings and go, what? You had to cut a king up and bury him under the ground? No, you big twat. It means you have to do that on a personal level, do your shadow work, do your rituals. You have to transform and ascend. You don't actually chop up a king and put him under the ground.
But that's the thing.
Allegories.
When it got hijacked by the empires and
that's what they would accuse people of doing.
But there were rituals where they did used to cut people up, and that became part of the ritual. Or that there was a surrogate king, got nominated for the day. He was king for the day, and then he got ripped apart. And it was.
But were they just bastardizing what the original?
Well, that's what my point.
Yeah,
I think that's exactly what they were doing. They're
doing now,
and it was all part of the process. Like with the witch trials, it was doing away with those old rituals and perverting them.
Yeah, like they're doing now,
and making it into something darker in terms of just so they could rule in the way that they wanted to, which was suppressing everything that went before. And this is happening in different forms now, as DJs put in the chat, the beta blockers. It's all puberty blockers, not beta blockers, but again, it's suppressing people's natural instincts and making them easy to control, and it's
I don't know about videos, Green. So Green's just asked about, are there any audio? I've been struggling to sort this out, and the one that Thomas Sheridan said to get was this Alfred Douglas on the tarot, and it's bloody fantastic. But I've also got this one because I've got Rider-Waite, so I've got this one as well. This is the ultimate guide to the Rider-Waite tarot. Now, this one's really good because this one it breaks down every single bit of what's on the Rider-Waite tarot. So, for example, it'll say, it'll give you the color of the background, the sun, or why it's a red cloak, etc. So it's bloody brilliant for that. Okay. And then it gives you a basic meaning, a spiritual experience, card of the day, prognosis, blah, 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 right? Brilliant. However, this one gives you warts and all. This one gives you reversed meanings. This one's challenging. So I use both. I'm learning through doing both at the same time, because I don't just want fluffy. If you've got like 10 daggers sticking out of you, it probably doesn't mean everything's fine and you're on your right path. So I like using both, Green. So I don't know if but this one is the one Thomas, and obviously he is the great magi of our times. So Alfred Douglas is what is bloody brilliant because it gives you warts and all. But if you've got Rider-Waite, which is my favourite because I love Pamela Coleman Smith's art, I got both and I'm learning through both. But Green, honest to Christ, I stopped looking for how-tos and just started doing it. And I swear to God, I'm having weird, vivid dreams every single night. I'm having synchronicities. I'm just getting like electric shocks now thinking about it. It really, you have to just think, you just have to dive in. You have to dive in. Doing my art about it, Green. Maybe draw the pictures or something do something with your hands. I make it sound like I know what I'm doing. I don't know what I'm doing. So I just do what I do. I just dove in. And now I'm starting to fucking get it. And I'm starting to know things without the books now. It's just so weird. I'm starting to intuit.
Well, I think that's surely what it's
supposed
about,
to be
connecting with. Its intuition.
Oh,
it's
look at your background. Yeah. I love it.
You did that even. You didn't even move.
He's so professional. He makes us look so shit.
Suddenly the tarot appears.
I mean, we don't need it. It doesn't appear like a beautiful thing. Christ knows what I get if I was to do that. But yet, just get yourself a pack and just sleep with them and touch them and look at them. And what the hell does that mean? I don't know. What do you think? What do you think, Derek? Have you got any tips for Green?
Yeah, honestly, it's like 78 wonderful friends in a single pack, and that's where it's at. One of my mentors said, like, hey, like if you're not really that well on the tarot, which I really am not. I'm more of a tarot student and enthusiast more than
Me too.
anything. But it's like, I don't know, there's just like certain things that, if you've really been awakened and activated to certain things and like studied well into the occult and esoterica and hermetica and all that stuff, then yeah, certain correlations are just gonna resonate and
really do.
make sense. And you didn't even read a book about it, but it's like, oh yeah, I can speak on that because it just, you see the symbolism and all these things about it. But my mentor said, like, yeah, like just pull out a card and put it out in front of you for like a week and just look at it, have it in your view, whatever, like anything. There's the Chariot, like, how are you driving things in your life type of thing, and yeah, you have like the dualistic black and white stuff. So how are you navigating that Masonic checkerboard of lower base consciousness to really rise above that, with or without Jacob's ladder and all that stuff,
I love it.
Are you Western,
what happens is the more you mess about with it, the more you're motivated to mess about with it. It's almost like,
yeah,
if you wait until, oh my God, because I did this, and I'm speaking from experience. I'm not just like coming out with this shit out of my mouth. I spent years. I've had tarot decks for years hanging about, and I was like, oh, I don't know enough about them. I don't know what to do. I don't know. So I was like, fuck it. I'm getting them out. I'm playing with them. I'm just gonna. These books are brilliant for me, but now I'm learning. Mark's talking about the alchemy. I'm starting to paint alchemical pictures, and I'm starting to. And it's like Jung talks about the archetypes. They really do start coming. I'm not just chatting shit here. They do. Well, I probably am. But they do start coming away.
I was going to get at, like, these are just archetypes of consciousness. That's like how we need to look at these cards, for sure. Yeah, it's not just this woo-woo divination bullshit. Yeah, continue, please.
Oh, 100%.
I think Green Tea's going to set you off here with a comment. Is there a particular artist for the deck?
Yeah, Pamela.
Right, that's a good question.
No, I don't know. It might matter to you, mate.
Yeah, I like the Pamela Smith. That's fantastic. Yeah, I love that. It's just so classic and all that stuff. Yeah.
I mean, I would, whatever resonates with you. I've got 3 packs. I was given a beautiful pack by Mari, beautiful, golden, lovely. I love them as pictures. They're beautiful things. I was given some by my old boss. Gorgeous, a lovely sentiment. But there's just something about those pictures behind Derek right now that sing to my heart. Maybe it's because I like the bright colors. Maybe there's just something that sings to my heart. So you've got to just oh, I prefer it when you're there. But you've just got to honestly, that they say your first, they talk shit, don't they? Your first tarot pack's got to be gifted to you, not necessarily just what sings to you. What resonates with you. I sound like such a new age twat, but it does boil down to that. What works for me might not work for you. I know Mari uses more old fashioned deck, I think. But I don't think there's a right or wrong, Derek. Do you? I don't know.
Well, there's where I'm at in France, and actually I touched base in Marseille where I met my fiancée.
Is that them ones? The
in a
Chevalier
beautiful Mediterranean Bay. There's that is that one, I think. Yeah. That's that classic, really old school pre Rider-Waite deck. Rider-Waite Smith. Excusez-moi, les amis. Mais oui.
Don't start stinking.
I'm not over here eating frog legs, believe that. But yeah, like
absolutely not. Bloody hell. What about snails?
No.
There's some things that just need to be left in their shells, isn't there?
Yeah, maybe
just
including snails. Although they make a pretty good sauce. I've had a decent escargot type of thing, but yeah, like ages ago.
Dirty bastards.
You gotta try it once.
Oh, bloody hell. So, listen, I might call it a night because we've been going 2 hours.
Yeah, sure.
There's going to have to be a part 3 for the light reading.
That's all right. We've got a month.
One page of in.
Yeah, I've got to get this done because we get another one next month, so I'm gonna have to sort it out one way or another.
Yeah.
Thanks, Derek, again for
Yeah, no,
joining us.
you're-
And
you
Yeah,
are
really
um,
smart,
content.
for
You
sure.
are a
Thank you so much for
fraud.
being-
You are a honorary fraud. We just
Yeah, and
clicked, didn't
also
we?
while we're at it on the tarot, real quick, it's been on my mind and in the works with some people in network that are kind of down to do it, and I wanted to have some kind of like round table regarding the tarot.
Ooh,
So I would love to have you guys on sometime, just about that,
that'd
and
be
just get
amazing.
into some really cool things about that. I'm trying to line out some just really cool talking points and just questions and little, wouldn't say shenanigans, but I like the edutainment elements with these
Yeah.
videos and stuff. And
I just
I
feel
threw in a
like
little
we
bit.
clicked straight
Yeah.
away.
I did upload the video of your last live stream on my channels as well, just to
great.
kind of
Yeah,
promote you guys
excellent.
as well. And so
Brilliant.
doing
Thank
a little
you.
intro
thanks,
to
So yeah, no, let's just like keep each other in the loop with things because I don't know, this
totally.
feels like it's got legs, not frog's legs. But this, I don't know, I just feel that this, whatever this is, it just feels nice and friendly and good, doesn't it?
We've inspired Nina to get some tarot.
Oh, bless you.
Yes.
That's
Good
brilliant.
for you, Nina. Get yourself some Rider Waite. They called Rider Waite, but I started calling them Rider Waite Smith because I can't get her down. I've got her up here. She's up there.
Pamela Coleman.
Yeah, I got you.
She's up there looking at me. That's nice, Nina. That's really nice. Yeah. Get yourself some nice colourful ones.
Yeah, and if no one has a book, I have read a lot about the tarot, but it was more on websites and that kind of stuff. And I have a bunch of PDFs. But Building Beautiful Souls, that's a really good website that I personally use that has helped me learn about the tarot and stuff.
Find it and stick it in the chat box. Building Beautiful Souls.
Yeah, it's a beautiful name too, right?
Let me find it. Oh my God, it's all gone wrong. You talk, I'll do this.
Right. Liz is currently getting up the website. Just talk amongst yourselves, everybody.
They can't. Dickhead. That's what you're there for.
Building Beautiful Souls.
Oh
yeah, looks fascinating.
Right, let's just
Right,
cheers, Nina.
It's coming in, everybody.
Yeah, and there's a lot to consider with even the numerology, the zodiac, with these things, or I wouldn't, astrology rather, and there's just, I love how these arts and sciences, and you could tie it into the runes as well, Liz. I think you mentioned that the other day, and they all tie into natural law as well, and just the proper pathwork to be a beautiful soul, right? Yeah. Build it up, be the master builder, be the king on your throne, like the justice card that represents natural law, right? That has the scales and the Excalibur, keeping it aligned, and also as light as a feather, like Mayat's in regards to Libra, the scales, and what he's holding in there, like they all mix up, and it's just, it all helps one articulate and navigate these things so much more. So I really appreciate you guys having me on to express some things. So
it's literally, if you do a spread, it's like you've had 2 hours with a psychotherapist.
A good one.
When I did one the other day, and I came away, and I spoken to Mark, and I couldn't have got any more from a Jungian psychologist. Do you know what I mean? I couldn't have done. If you've got a pack of tarot cards, you've got your own personal therapist in a box. Just get it out the fucking box, basically. It really is. It's just like the most honest, because it's coming from you. It's coming from you. You can get some bloody good therapists, but the tarot is you speaking to you, I think.
Yeah.
Whatever that means.
Yeah, no, I think this makes a lot of sense. Green Tea saying your playlist, Derek, on natural law is awesome. She thanks you.
Yeah,
natural law all the way.
Yeah.
I'll be looking at that then, Derek. You've got a playlist on natural
check out Derek's sites.
I got a lot of playlists, and a lot of videos and a lot of music, a lot of podcasts, and I'd love to have both you guys on sometime on my other channel, Dissolving the Divide, as well.
Oh yeah, no, definitely. That'd be
Yeah.
absolutely awesome. Yeah,
We'd
no.
love to.
Yeah, we'd love to. That'd be great. Amazing.
And if you guys are free tomorrow, there's a live stream on Europa Natural Law that I'm, part of the group. I'll be hosting the live stream this week actually, and yeah, give you more information about that if you
yeah,
want.
we're friends on Facebook, so just send me some stuff over, and yeah, no, we're up for most things, aren't we?
Yep.
Yeah, I'm just all about the win-win, holding people large, cross-pollination across the nations, and
exactly.
just expanding the networks of
Absolutely. But if you
freedom-minded
start selling a wellness products, then we can't be friends.
Unless you give us a few percent.
No,
obviously not. No.
Mark's selling his soul.
No
I
way.
won't sell my beautiful soul.
But thanks Green Tea and Nina for the comments and all that. DJ, I see you.
So Nina has had tarot in the past, and it was amazing. Oh, it's just so amazing, Nina. It really is. You can get some dodgy weird. Me and you, I'm going to talk to you privately, Nina, because me and you know somebody that LARPs the tarot. But that's gossiping off air. This is for ascended fifth dimensional conversations. We'll do gossiping a little bit later. I'm seeing you on Wednesday. We'll gossip then. But anyway, thanks everybody. DJ Nina, Green Tea, Margaret was ages ago. Ben, of course, bless him. Don't forget Ben's on at 9. Whisperoon, I hope your mum's okay. Whisperoon, his mum was in hospital. DJ, everybody, sorry for Neil, and yeah,
everyone else that
everyone else, and thank you, especially Derek. You'll be getting sick to death of us soon.
Probably see you tomorrow, maybe.
Yeah, awesome.
Yeah, that'd be great.
Right. Thanks, everybody.
This is where I live. I just want to show you guys lovely La France. We're not all arrogant pricks, by the way. Yeah.